City of Buffalo, Western New York, and really communities across the country will pause to remember the 10 victims who were shot and killed last May at the Top Supermarket on Jefferson Avenue. But this week, one family will be honoring a special woman with a call for action. A 3-day conference and gala has been organized as a tribute to Ruth Whitfield, and it's all about countering hate with love. Joining me right now are Ruth's sons, Garnell and Raymond Whitfield. Appreciate you both coming in to talk to us about this. I know you've been working on this for a long time. I mentioned to you a moment ago, I looked over the agenda. You've got a lot of stuff going on, and it's an impressive list of speakers coming and conversations that are so important. Garnell, I'll start with you. Tell me about how you came up with this and what you hope to accomplish.
Well, when our mother was murdered, we decided as a family that we wanted to speak out and call attention to all of the things surrounding that event, of white supremacy, gun violence, and all of those things. And so actually it was my brother's idea to form this 501c3 and put this conference on. Tell me,
Raymond, if you can, some of the highlights. I mean, I know you have an opening event, you've got a town hall, you've got multiple kind of conferences and speakers coming in. Tell me some of the highlights of what people can expect Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Well, we start things off with a panel discussion that is well overdue. It is about white supremacy, the legacy and the myth of white supremacy. I like to say from the middle passage to the middle aisle of a grocery store massacre. We're going to talk about that terrible ideology and what it's meant to our country as a whole, because that we're all suffering because of it. So that starts things off on Friday. One of the things I want to point out is that we're very proud to team up with Assistant Superintendent Fatima Morrell, who's coming in. Another one of the panels is called Growing Up Grieving. And we're actually going to have 6 students that are going to come in and give from the eyes of a child what it's like. How do we identify a child who's grieving so that you don't just punish them, that you try to understand and empathize with them? We also have my brother's grandchildren will be there. So it's a conference that's called the Remembrance and Recovery. So we're going to start by remembering these our loved ones that are lost, and then we're going to start the recovery. And you can tell them about the prevention.
Sure. So one of the things we want to do is make sure that this is not a one-off. This is the beginning of relationships with with the guests that are coming in, also with the persons within our community. Different groups disparate. Some of them disparate. Others who have worked together in the past. But we're going to try to bring them all together and to coalesce around some actionable steps, some things that we can do to try to mitigate some of the things that we find problematic in our community.
And we're showing right now the website, pursuitoftruth.co, which is a great resource. It goes over the entire agenda, all that's going to be happening. Pursuit of Truth with capital R-U-T-H, yes. Your mother's name, which I think captures the dual thing that you're doing here, right? Remembering human beings, loved people who we lost, while also turning this into action. I think those of us who have never been through something like that are always so struck by people dealing with intense grief who somehow turn that into something positive. How important is it for you to do that?
Well, we had no choice because, to be honest with you, after this happened to our mother, we know that our mother was there for every football game, every incident that we've had in our lives. She was there rooting us on. And if this would have happened to any of us, she would have done more than we could have imagined. Mm-hmm. So we can't just sit on our hands. We had to stand up and say, we're still grieving, but the fight is the fight, and we're in it because we're inexplicably tied to it.
Yeah. And Garnell, I've got about 30 seconds left, but people can go on the website, right? And some, like the gala, of course, costs money, but some of the others are just a donation, and you kind of determine how much you want to give, but you can go take part.
Yeah, we try to make it as affordable as possible. We certainly want the community to partake of these opportunities, so they'll have an opportunity to be with some of the preeminent people in the fields, experts in these different areas. They'll be able to interact with them, listen to them, and talk with them. We think that's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, it is a very impressive list of people who are going to be coming here to take part in this.
Can I just say one thing about because we want to and be inclusive, and we certainly want folks from all communities to come together. Right now, if you go on the site and you try to join us for the conference. It suggests a donation, but if you don't have it, just put 0 and get your tickets and come on out and share this with us.
Absolutely. Thanks to both of you so much. Ruth Whitfield's sons, Garnell and Raymond, best of luck with this. It's going to be really something
Thank
to
you
see.
so much for having us.
You bet.